Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to another edition of Awesomecallstrading.com. I am AJ Trader 7. I am your host. Today, I want to thank you for joining us. Today, the Feds decided to uh, cut the rates by a quarter. Market did not like that, I believe, and turn off my phone so I have no disturbance when I'm speaking to you. And so I think the market's a little disappointed. Would get a sell-off probably tomorrow as well. It usually follows by the next day, especially if the Dow is red now. But it was down pretty bad. It was 450. Now it's only down 260. Well, today, AJ Trader got a 90% report card. And I feel bad because I've been on a roll. I have been on a really good roll at 95, 97, and 100% in the chat room. But I got double dinged by the room by TWOU. TWOU, I read the report this morning, and I'll start with this particular trade. When I read the report this morning, I really felt that the stock was overdone. It was gapping down from $36 down to $20 a share, or 23 or whatever. And I caught a decent bounce of 90 cents off of it, which was fun. The spreads are a little bit wide, about 30 cents. So in reality, it was about a 60-cent pop that was given. But then it really dived. I mean, you could see funds just liquidating their accounts. And right now it's at $11.50 as I speak to you. I mean, it's just ridiculous to sell off. I mean, over 70% sell off. I do think it's excessive. I'm actually holding some for a bounce. I don't recommend it, but um, after reviewing, because when you're a day trader and you're really a good one, even at this level, there's certain things you have to pick up on. And today there was some language that was put into reports that I really picked up on today that I shared with the chat room that has convinced me that if I see that language from now on, I'll know exactly how to interpret it and take that trade. So um, TWOO is continues to sell off probably to the $10 area, which is really ridiculous. All the analysts are giving the price target at 25 to $29 across the board. There's at least a dozen analysts coming across. But the stock just, it's going to find its own. Every time it dips to 12 or 11 or 13, more sellers come in and just keep dumping it. And they're just escaping the stock at this point. So I think when the selling gets done and dried up, we'll get a decent bounce on it. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Okay. However, the rest of the calls in the chat room, like I said, I was 90%. I was actually probably 95% accurate, but because TWO was off, I think the room kind of dinged me. They double dinged me. But overall, the room did pretty good, and we pretty much hit our targets. UIS was a thin stock. It was gapping up, and I had the stock running to 12.75 at the open, and it hit 12.95. FireEye was a long at the open, and with dips to add to 13.50. Stock would go to 15 to 15.20. The stock is sitting at $15. Great trade. ENPH, I anticipated the stock to pop, even though it was gapping up 5. I said it would go to 28. The stock is sitting at $28.30. Beat was a short. I said to short at 49.50. The stock would come down to 46. Of 45.50, the stock hit 46. HY, I said this stock would pop at the open. It was a thin stock. It was sitting at $59 a share. I said it would go to 62 plus before we would wash it out and short it. The stock actually hit 64. So every one of these were on point, every single trade. Nueva told me that it was going to pop at the open towards 65. The stock hit 66 and then came down 3 points. GRMM, when I show you this one, this was a beautiful chart setup. I said the stock would pop at 84 at the open and sell off 5 points down to 79. The stock hit actually 77. EA was another beautiful trade. I called for a short at 95. I said the stock would come down to 90. The stock hit $91.04. Apple, biggest call of the day. This was the bread and butter of the granddaddy of the granddaddy. I love trading Apple on earnings. I nailed this. I gave the stock room to 220. If you wanted to short at 217 to 220, it's a big stock. Your average should have been 218.50, and I said the stock would come down to 212. I made it very clear that we would have a sell-off on Apple. Hold on. I'm going to add a little bit more. Let's see. Yeah, 14,493. Anyway, Apple, what I did on Apple is I want to show you this trade. This was, to me, the trade of the day. It was really well done, well executed. I read their earnings report. I felt our Apple's were a little bit more mixed. I also looked at all the analysts, how they commented. And so I felt that the stock would actually pop at the open towards 220 and would fade off to 212. All right. And that was the trade. I wanted you to short the stock to 212. And I wanted you to be patient with it. It wasn't going to find a base or anything like that. I just wanted everyone just to kind of be patient with it. So I'll show you the Apple call. We'll start with that one. And Apple's right here. This is yesterday's push. And I was explaining to Mr. Blue in the chat room where my numbers came from. But here's the 214 area right here. I wanted to break this flag right there. And then I wanted to sink to the remaining 212 area. As you can see, the stock hit $211. So if you took the trade and you took 220 short, and you had 217, you had a 218.50, you scored 6 points on the downside. Okay. The next call was Spotify. Now, Spotify typically gets bought up on weakness. It's one of the things you have to understand about the stock. They didn't have horrific numbers. Their subscriptions were down, but not enough to justify a massive sell-off. I felt the stock would find stability around 144, so I wanted traders to go long the stock and then add on the dip to 144, and I felt the stock would go to $152 or more. The stock was going to definitely rebound today, and I wanted everyone to be aware of that. Uh, Look, if there was a sell-off, look for that 144 area. If it comes, and add into it, buyers will come in, and I made it very clear. They will buy the weakness on this stock and take it to 152. One of the things I've been doing about Spotify for the last couple of years on this trade, I believe it's a year and a half, almost 2 years I've been trading, I really know this stock. And the earnings report did not justify wreckage on the stock, so therefore I felt the stock would come down to go back up to 152. As you can see, within the first few hours of the market open, it didn't quite hit my 144 to add, but it definitely hit my 152, 153. I was really impressed with this trade. I took this long in the room as well and made good money on it. I did very good on this trade. The next trade was the Garmin one I spoke of. That Garmin, after reading the report, I felt the stock was going to probably pop at the open towards 84. We would probably get a quick short squeeze, and then we would get a sell-off for about 5 points to the downside. I made it very clear for quick money, for part-timers in the room, if you look at the pop it open to 84, there's 83.95, and it came in scaled in short and take it all the way down to $79 a share. That's exactly where I called it. But the market pulled it a little bit more, and it found a base. It actually pretty much almost gap filled, and now it's being bought back up. Great short, great play, really well scripted this morning on this trade. The next trade was FireEye, and FireEye to me was a buying opportunity. One thing you have to know about FireEye, when it gets hurt on earnings, and this one did get hurt, they were a disappointment. Investors just kind of had enough of them, and so they got penalized yesterday after hours. However, to me, um, I have been playing FireEye almost on every quarter, and typically it gets bought up on weakness. Today, I had to pinpoint exactly where it was going to get bought up to. So I introduced it to the traders and said the stock will be probably most likely to these two areas, 15 and 15.20. As you can see, the stock is holding 15, and I still think 15.20 is coming. Really nice trade on the FireEye. The next stock that we can talk about is EA. EA was a beautiful setup today. EA had decent numbers, however, their subscriptions were down. Their subscriptions were up, and after reading the report, typically EA has a lot of bag holders. If you want to look, the last 10 days, you have a lot of back orders down here, all below 90. So I anticipated a pop at the open. I told everyone about 95 should be the topping of it. It hit 96. And then I said it would sell off to $90 a share, which is about approximately right here. Yesterday's push came to about 90 right here. There's the 90, and then it hit 91. We've already hit 91. We still have some sellers in here and off the 30-minute candle, and I still think we still see 90 on the stock. It was a great short. Just had to wait for the setup. Popped in right there. Bam, slam it down. Nice short. I liked EA. Really nice trade. I enjoyed trading that one. Another stock that we did today was called Beat. Now, when I talk about these stocks that we play, I go in depth in the earnings report. And what I mean by that is I read them very thoroughly. And by reading it through the report, I can determine how to read the stock and how it's going to react at the open. I've gotten to a whole nother level of trading that I never thought that I could be in my life. But because I keep studying and studying and studying and studying, and I'm relentless, I keep learning. I'm like a sponge. And each earnings report, I get better and I get better and I get better and I get better. So on this particular stock, I felt after yesterday, the stock went up thin after hours with the conference call, mind you. Well, this morning, I looked at this and I felt, you know what? I'm more likely inclined to think this is going to hit 50, 49 to 50 at the open. But at the end of the day, we're going to pretty much gap fill this pretty fast. My call on this stock on beat was to come down to 45.50 a share. I want you to see how it was written up for everyone to take advantage of. Beat. This is a short. Watch for the pop at open to 49 to 50, which is 49.50. This stock will come down to 45.50 and under. If it pulled at the open towards that area, I wanted you to long the stock. So it was a two-way win for you. Okay, so either way you were going to get it, but it wasn't going to come below 45.50. If you want to take a look, ding, 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 ding. Market open. You see where it popped? 49.50. Scale in short, 49. Room to 50, 49.50. Take it down. 1, 2, 3 points. Cover. Done for the day. This is what makes our room so unique and different. Being able to, I mean, the Apple call alone would have blew you away, but I love stuff like this because this is just, you know, this is where I excel. This is where I get better every day as a day trader, you know? So I was really happy with Beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have one more to do. Let me give you ENPH. A lot of you didn't trade this today. It was interesting. A couple of people that have left these small cap rooms have come into our room, and they're actually showing me the tweets that are being sent out to, or messages being sent out. Do you know half the traders didn't even trade today? They said another lesson day. I'm going to take the day off today. Um, just a lot of people just didn't want to trade today, and I don't understand why you would. I do understand. You just don't know enough. But hey, that's why people come in here. Um, ENPH. All right, I'll end up with this one. Um, this was a big, 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 big uh, earnings. Big earnings. I mean, they knocked it out of the park. They really did. And so today, um, after reading the report, their revenues increased by $50 million for the quarter. Let me tell you something. On a $20 stock, that stock is not coming down. It is not going to come down. So I wanted everyone to go long the stock at the open. Um, so teachers and students, I hear there's nothing good in stuff. Yeah, seriously. And I was just like looking at it, I'm like, this is a $28 stock out of the gate. And you don't believe me? Look what I wrote. And I was happy to see Ollie just take that stock. I mean, he saw that and he just went right with it. I'll show it to you right here. This will pop, even though it's gapping up 5. This will pop at the open to $28. That's it. There's your trade. If you wanted a quick in, out, get out, boom, have a nice day. If it pulled it all, you had to wait for 25.90. If it didn't shake that, it wasn't going to flush. So I warn traders, don't force it. Don't do it. Wait for that because in my opinion, it's going to push. There's no way it's going to gap fill. There's no way it's going to sell off. It's a slam dunk to 28. Do you know how quickly it hit 28? Just in the first blink. Look at that. You were done. Opening bell. Ding, 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 ding. 12 minutes later, you were finished day trading in the chat room. From $26 to 28. It didn't matter what size you took. 500, 200, 1,000, 600, 300, $500 challenge, 399. You were going to make 2 points on the trade. No ands, if, or buts. It was amazing. Just a slam dunk right out of the gate. Should have made it my number one pick. That's what I should have done. But I just saw that TWO down there, and I'm like, I was slobbering. I was fucking slobbering. But anyway, um, and see, look at FireEye. This is why we don't short stocks too soon. See that? 15 to 15.20 is what I wrote. It's 15.10. Like dead on. You know? Hey, this is what we do. So today, if you look at the pre-market notes, we were on fire. You know, but TWO hurt my results. So it is what it is. Everything else just worked out. UIS is hit 12.95 versus 12.75, so we're by 20 cents. And HY hit 64. You actually got a little bit more. So anyway, really wonderful day in the room. It didn't matter what the Fed was going to do to me. I think I could care less. Um, make it more volatile. It's hey, you made my Apple work, right? Somebody said in the room. Thank Pal for that one. So I guess Pal gets credit for my calls today. So anyway, other than that, it was a great day to trade today. Lots of opportunities out there, and definitely I walked away learning something very valuable today, which is really important to me as a day trader. Um, and actually, for today, I am actually red for the day. I am. I held TWO by choice, and it took away my gains on Apple, Nueva, uh, Spotify, and GRMN. So I am officially red because of one stock. But again, it was a choice that I made. I was only down 100 something bucks on the trade, but I decided to hold it. So took away some of my profits. Oh well. But you know what? What if I wake up tomorrow and it gaps up too and pushes out of the gate? Then all of a sudden I'm another hero. So anyway, I'm willing to hold it. So that's really what I want to do. All right. So thank you so much for joining us today. And I really had a lot of fun. A lot of trades out there. Nice to see so many got done so quick. And I got a lot of traders in here. Let me tell you, they kind of overtrade. I mean, they go crazy in here. I mean, they can't stop. I mean, they keep trading, they keep trading, they keep trading. And where was it right here? I mean, John just can't stop. Every 2 seconds he's trading. I mean, he's made over $2,100 in the last 30 days on a $500 account. I mean, this is just what we do. And Ollie Biggs did really good this morning. Really, some really good going. Uh, Zoom did killer. I was really impressed with Zoom. Solo. I love Solo. Ollie did good. Solo did great. Noel, forget it. He banked 4 grand. And look at the ENPHT call. Check it out. See it? Long here. All you had to do was go long. He zipped it, sold it, done. See that? Made 1,500 bucks. That's day trading, man. I said it would go to 28. Imagine if he had held it. He would have been up 1,700 on that trade. It's that fast, traders. It's that good. So anyway, thank you for joining us on today's webinar. I appreciate you. And I look forward to trading with you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.